I wanted to be in the military, more specific, the Marine Corps, at a very young age. I grew up in the city of Chicago. We had a lot of gangs. We had a lot of violence where I grew up. I used to see drug exchanges at the park right across the street, but yet I'm there playing on the swings. Then I moved to the suburbs, with my mom and my stepdad. And then, like I said, things started changing just a little bit, where I had a different group of friends. I had friends that I would play with at the park, and I had friends that would like to go fishing. I used to go down to like these ponds in the city, and I would just go up to strangers and just ask, hey, can I reel your fish in? And at the time, my dad was a Chicago firefighter. I remember he got me this bamboo pole, right? And I was like, what is this? He's like, it's for fishing. I was like, no, I need a reel, I need a rod. That's what the guys down at the ponds have. Then going into high school, that's when things start to separate. So I decided to go in the Marine Corps probably by my sophomore, junior year. I just knew that was gonna be my path, and I really started talking to some of the recruiters, and I started to get to know them. And they knew that, hey, we don't even gotta sell him. We know this guy's gonna come. It's probably my junior year, I joined the Marine Corps, did the late entry program, and then from there, once I graduated high school, I left relatively quick. Like my first time, going overseas was on a UDP, and that was during peacetime. So, it was fun. I got to train with, the Thai Marines, or the Rock Marines. Like you knew that, you were gonna go out on training and you get to come back. Now, some of the guys I am closer with, and it's not to take away the ones that I'm not close with, is, obviously the ones that, we spill blood on the battlefield. We've lost, some of our own. I remember on the one deployment into Fallujah, we were ambushed by well over, what was estimated to be over 60 insurgents. The initial assault of that, they took out our first 5 guys. So now we're down to 20, and then of course, then they take out, the second vehicle. So then we have to assault through, and then our platoon commander gets killed. So our numbers we're leading down really, really fast on that. After that ambush, I remember talking to my wife, saying we just had a rough day. So I really didn't know the difference until I really got home, and I was like, wow, we're like, during the month of, April, we lost X amount of service members. I mean, Army, Marine Corps, Navy, we're losing so many people. And I was just like, I thought this is just the way it was. And then I got redeployed again, back to Iraq again. This time I was operating as a sniper on one of our missions. We obviously got ambushed, and, a grenade landed next to me on that deployment, and of course it injured me, and that's what sent me home again. And then the recovery process on that, kind of sucked, but there's other people that had worse. And when I say guys, I know all those people personally. Like I know someone that's missing both the legs. I know a buddy of mine is missing both of his arms. I have a buddy that's blind, in both eyes. In perspective, like my injuries are nothing. Even though I took a grenade to the chest, it hit both my lungs, ruptured my diaphragm, it hit my stomach, a portion of my small intestines were removed. And then I battled infections for a couple months. It's just my body did not fight it off. We just don't know what it was. So that was, touch and go for a little bit. But once I beat that, I was ready to go back again. And then I had the opportunity to retire out, and then I still continued to deploy under the State Department. So even though I was in the military, I was still deploying back overseas for the next 7 years. So that was my world for quite a long time. So in the Marine Corps, I would like to say I was always physically fit. I was always trying to be faster, be stronger, be more agile, than, my peer. I don't even know where it came from. I decided to do the Marine Corps Marathon. When I did the Marine Corps Marathon, that was with the Semper Fi Fund. I got reconnected with my case manager, who's the one that assisted me when I got injured. And I said, hey, what can I do to help you guys out since you guys helped me out? She's like, well, there's nothing you can do. We're here to help you. I was like, well, no, you don't understand. Like, it's my mission to help you guys out. Now, maybe it's not to help you out. It's help out other service members. And she's like, well, you can raise money if you want. I was like, yeah, I can do that, So I remember running the Marine Corps Marathon. And then I kind of liked it. I was like, this ain't too bad. The environment of these people is different. then after that, it's like, I wonder what else I can do. When I was reading this article about different people doing different things, you know, and one of them I happened to read about, like, the record of the most 70.3 Ironmans completed in a year was from a firefighter in Wisconsin. And I was like, I could do that. So I started doing all these races. Well, Ironman called me and they said, we see that you're registered for X amount of races. I was like, yeah. She's like, why are you doing this? I was like, well, I'm raising money for, you know, wounded and injured service members. So that kind of started like the idea of like, I can actually probably raise more money by going like on social media and contacting some other people. So that's what I did. Every single race, I had friends, some of my brothers in the Marine Corps, that would show up to my races. And I'm proud of that. And the reason I broke that record was to raise money and as an attention getter.
You're doing awesome, baby, you got it, you're doing awesome.
Let's welcome from the U.S. Marine Corps, first-timer Michael Mendoza. You are an Ironman.
You guys are awesome.
Veteran Fields, you know, gave me the opportunity to come here turkey hunting. So once they found out that the only turkey hunting I do is when I go deer hunting, right? But I've never had the opportunity to actually do a spring hunt. You know, you actually call them in, and you know, Dave's known that, and I was like, I'll tell you what, you do the calling, I'll do the shooting. So once I showed up to Uvalde, I guess that's where we're at, right? Here in Texas, there's already two other veterans, you know, here. One's a Marine, one's an Army, and you know, it doesn't matter what service you're with. We can all connect. We all have something in common. We all have our things that we're working out, we're figuring it out. So that's what Veteran Fields does. He brings together like-minded individuals that we all have the same interests, which is, well, for this trip, it's hunting, right? Recovery through sport and recreation is you know, I'm a huge advocate of it. You know, I love to push that on people. Even though some people think of it as a hobby, to me it's a recovery because, you know, whether or not we all get depressed from work, we get depressed from, you know, society, whatever it is, you know, whatever the pressures are, you wouldn't believe the amount of relief that's lifted off your shoulders by just, you know, putting on a pair of boots, you know, and going into the woods. Here's some to the left. Did you ever pick that up? It was kind of, you know, touch and go in the beginning. You know, first it was quiet, and then we had one come in that first day on the second part of our hunt. Band came up and came in pretty aggressive, but for some reason it just decided to do an about face, and it took off the other way. And you know, I was okay with that, you know, because, you know, for me, hunting doesn't always mean a kill. But trust me, don't get me wrong, I love to get a kill. And then, you know, it was still touch and go the next day, and then all of a sudden we go to this new location. I don't know if you know this, but I'm pretty particular about my veg. You know, just I like to have a small window, but I know with turkey hunting, I've been kind of told that you don't want to have too much veg, but I'm a stickler to my habits. So if I can get a little bit more veg, that's just the way I'm gonna be. I just need a small shooting window. Two of them. I got two of them. Let me know when.
They didn't make a peep.
Good job, bro.
Thanks. I saw them coming up. Good thing I was looking this way, because they didn't make a peep.
And all of a sudden I hear go whoop on the decoy. I'm like, oh.
Oh, so you did hear that?
Yeah. I turned around. I got to see everything from that point anyway.
Yeah.
Never saw him come in.
That was the most dominant one that did that.
Yeah.
Was just pecking at it. It's pretty cool.
That was awesome.
I don't know if you saw, but his fan was up too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I wasn't too excited first. You know, I want to go make sure it's dead. And then it starts coming together. You know, it's like, wow, I actually got my first spring turkey. You know, it's not a turkey where I'm actually deer hunting. Each hunt's different, and this hunt was completely different. And that's something I'm always searching for too. So it's like you lose a passion, and you always got to try to reignite that passion. If you can't reignite that passion, you find a new passion, right? And that's something that we need. We need to, you know, have a melting pot of just a bunch of good stuff. And turkey hunting is part of it, and Veterans of Fields, you know, I'm so glad that they called me to come down here, because it's hard to say yes, because sometimes I think there's other people that are more deserving, and that's what Veterans of Fields is doing, is that they're taking care of their troops, taking care of their people.
To Staff Sergeant Mike Mendoza, thank you for your service. Everyone at Mossy is honored to know you.